Dramatic developments taking place right from the morning, where the deadlock over the government formation in Delhi is concerned. The Supreme Court today slammed into the centre and the Lieutenant Governor, stating why the delay in government formation, what is stopping the Lieutenant Governor to follow the democratic process. Something which the Aam Aadmi Party has been stating all along. And to get in a quick word, I'd like to cut across to Mr. Raghav Chadda from the Aam Aadmi Party, who's joining us live on this news broadcast. Raghav, a fair bit of vindication today on what the Supreme Court said?
What the Aam Aadmi Party has been saying all throughout has been reaffirmed by the observations made by the Supreme Court. It has become evidently clear that the Bharatiya Janata Party doesn't have the moral qualms, doesn't have the strength, doesn't have the will to face fresh elections in Delhi, because unlike Haryana and Maharashtra, a political alternative called the Aam Aadmi Party is available in Delhi. Now, if we look at the past 8 months, the Bharatiya Janata Party has been doing two things. One is that they have been using delaying tactics in the Supreme Court and the petition which was filed by the Aam Aadmi Party for the dissolution of the assembly. Every now and then they appear before the government's lawyer, the BJP's lawyer appear before the Supreme Court and say that sometimes they say that the lawyer's father is unwell, so the hearing should take place on some other day. Sometimes they say that we have written a letter to the president. Sometimes they say we are still evaluating options. So they have been using a tactic of delaying the judgment of the Supreme Court. That is number one. Number two, why are they doing this? They are doing this to facilitate horse trading. They are creating a window of time so that they can indulge shamelessly and brazenly indulge in horse trading, engineer political defection, like they have done in Operation Kamal in Karnataka, like they have done in Jharkhand with Shibu Soren, like they have done in Uttar Pradesh with Kalyan Singh government, so that political defection can be engineered and a government in Delhi can be formed by the Bharatiya Janata Party without going in fresh elections.
For the sake of an argument, Raghav, for the sake of an argument, let me put forth the point made by the BJP, by the centre today at the Supreme Court, where they said that it's a constitutional process. It is the LG's prerogative for a year. So even though 5 months have passed, the LG cannot really be pressurized into making a decision.
Two things on this. Number one, the last statement made by the Bharatiya Janata Party in writing to the Lieutenant Governor was made by Mr. Harshvardhan in December and in February, that they can't form the government because they don't have the magical figure of 36. Because they had only 32 members in the assembly. Now the strength has reduced from 32 to 29. But they think that they can form the government. And I want to raise a question that how and by what magical powers do they think that they can form the government now? And how on earth can LG think that the Bharatiya Janata Party can form a government?
My question is not where the numbers are concerned. They are there for everyone to see that the BJP right now, even if it goes ahead and wins those 3 seats in by-elections, is not in a position to form government. My question is, constitutionally speaking, what is wrong with what the centre said?
You see, constitutionally speaking, the LG has to be sure that the party that he is going to invite will be able to form the government. The LG has previously invited the Bharatiya Janata Party and they have declined that they can't form the government. What has changed now? This is my question. An LG, a constitutional head, can only invite when he believes that the Bharatiya Janata Party can form the government. Now, if I would be extremely obliged if you or anybody else on this planet can explain to me how Bharatiya Janata Party can form government in Delhi. They can only form government by political defection, irrespective of the fact of by-elections. Whoever wins the by-elections, even if all 3 are won by BJP, they can't form government without engineering defection and by horse trading. And this is what they have been doing all about.
So you think Raghav, the BJP state unit, the centre, is exploiting the technicalities of it all, because technically, if you look at it, it's the LG's prerogative who can sit on making a decision for 1 year.
You see, they have been using not just tactics, this tactic, they have been using a number of tactics. First, they thought that they can do a secret ballot. Then they thought that they can buy off the MLAs. Then they thought that they will make sure that some of the MLAs abstain from voting so that they can form a government in Delhi. I mean, they have been using a number of tactics, and they have been also using constitutional authorities and constitutional heads so that their lust for power is satisfied. I think it's a blot on Indian democracy, and it is probably one of the most unethical, immoral acts in the history of Indian politics.
Yes. Raghav, the question I also want to ask you is, when you come down to ground realities, there are many who say that this is false bravado where the Aam Aadmi Party is coming in from, because the BJP has two emphatic wins right in the last 20 days. You've seen Maharashtra, you've seen Haryana. What makes the Aam Aadmi Party so sure that they will be able to give the BJP the fight that they envision that they can, even if you look at the Delhi numbers where the Lok Sabha was concerned?
You see, the situation in Haryana and Maharashtra was completely different from Delhi. In Haryana and Maharashtra, the Bharatiya Janata Party was up against a demoralized, a corrupt and a dead Congress, which is slowly becoming irrelevant as far as Indian politics is concerned. In Delhi, they are up against a political alternative called the Aam Aadmi Party. The people of Delhi have tasted the governance of Aam Aadmi Party, the 49-day rule, in which we delivered on our promises, be it electricity, water, corruption. So they know that the people of Delhi have tasted good governance, the integrity of the politicians.
Raghav, that is debatable.
No, it's certainly not. I mean, the best way to answer this question, or the best way to find an answer to this question, is to step out of your house and ask the first 15 people that you meet.
Well, the best way to answer that question would be to go to election. The best way.
Kejriwal as their chief minister or Jagdish Mukhi as their chief minister.
Appreciate you joining us, Raghav. Where one can agree with you is that the best way to answer that question would be to go for fresh elections there, and that is what the Supreme Court asked of the centre and the LG there, that why isn't a decision being made where the Delhi State Assembly is concerned, where it still is continuing in suspended animation. We'll keep getting the very latest. Appreciate Raghav Chadda of the Aam Aadmi Party for joining us. Fair bit of vindication today coming in for the Aam Aadmi Party, because they've been making fairly the same points that the Supreme Court echoed today in very stern observations for the centre and the Lieutenant Governor. To take our viewers through these observations, I'd like to cut across to Ashish Mehrishi, who's been tracking every development emanating from the Supreme Court. Also getting us reactions from the Congress is my colleague Ashar Ahmed Khan, who's joining us. We'll also get Maushami, who's tracking the Aam Aadmi Party, and Ankit Tyagi getting us reactions on government formations, on what's going on behind the scenes where the BJP is concerned. But quickly to Ashish first. Ashish, take us through the biggest takeaways that the Supreme Court, which emanated from the Supreme Court today, the sternest observations.
Well, if you see, Preeti, the biggest takeaway is that the way Supreme Court has said that, that centre has been purposely delaying formation of the government at the centre, and just before, whenever there is a date in the Supreme Court, you see statements coming out, and they've also somehow indicated that there is some bias somewhere happening where there are purposely delaying tactics are happening. And as we see that Aam Aadmi Party is very clearly alleged that the LG is biased, and purposely just before the date at the centre, date at the Supreme Court, the LG sends a letter to the president, and the president gives a nod that yes, okay, you can call the single largest party to form the government at the centre. But then again, there has been no invitation till now. We still have to see when the BJP gets the invitation from Lieutenant Governor to form the government. But Supreme Court somehow seems to be very, very unhappy on the behaviour of centre and the way they have behaved in the last 5 months, especially in delaying the formation of the government in Delhi.
Stay on with us, Ashish. Getting in reactions from the Congress is also Ashar Ahmed Khan joining us right now live. Ashar, you just spoke to Mr. Sandeep Dikshit, who pretty much pointed out, echoed with what the Aam Aadmi Party has been saying till now.
Well, absolutely, categorically stated that, what has changed in the last 5 months, that the BJP will now form the government, and also the machinations which the BJP has been doing in the last couple of weeks, a couple of months, are there for everybody to see. So what the Congress party categorically wants is that elections should take place in Delhi, so that everybody's view is clear. Whichever party is able to muster up the seats, it goes and forms the government. But as of now, categorically the Congress party states that the BJP does not have the required numbers, because it is there for everybody to see that the numbers are clearly not there, and if the numbers are not there, then certainly unfair means should not be used. And if a party who does not have the numbers is called on to form the government, and it forms the government, will definitely be using methods which are clearly not appropriate in a democratic setup to move ahead and form a government.
दिल्ली में सरकार बनाने में आखिर देरी क्यों है, इसको लेकर सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने सरकार को फटकार लगाई है। हमारे साथ है आम आदमी पार्टी के नेता संजय सिंह। संजय जी, दिल्ली में बनेगी सरकार बीजेपी की, अब इसको लेकर सवाल भी खड़े हैं और ऐसा भी लग रहा है कि सरकार बन सकती है, क्योंकि जो सरकार ने सुप्रीम कोर्ट में पक्ष रखा है, कहा है कि राष्ट्रपति ने भी इस बात को मंजूरी दे दी है।
नहीं, मुझे लगता है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी बेशर्मी की सारी हदें पार कर चुकी है, और सर्वोच्च न्यायालय ने जिस प्रकार से आज फटकार लगाई है इससे इन लोगों को सबक लेना चाहिए, सीख लेनी चाहिए। और दिल्ली के अंदर किसी भी पार्टी के पास बहुमत नहीं है, संख्या नहीं है, तो सरकार बनेगी कैसे? इसीलिए आज सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने भी पूछा है कि भाई सरकार कैसे बनेगी, नंबर तो है नहीं किसी के पास। 5 महीने से आप इस मामले को लटका रहे हैं, बार बार देश की सर्वोच्च न्यायालय में जाकर कभी कोई एफिडेविट दे के गुमराह करने की कोशिश करते हैं, न्यायालय को भी गुमराह करने की कोशिश करते हैं। मुझे लगता है कि बीजेपी इस पूरे मसले पर बेनकाब हुई है कि वो जोड़ तोड़ करके, खरीद फरोख्त करके दिल्ली में सरकार बनाना चाहती है।
All right, let's take our view to 3 big developments that we're tracking at this point of time. The Supreme Court today slammed the centre and the Lieutenant Governor for what, in not so many words, the Supreme Court said were delay tactics. On the other hand, the centre had said that it has got the nod of the President to let the LG invite the largest party to come ahead and form government. The BJP doesn't quite have the numbers. Number 3, things will get clearer at 2:30 p.m. where Satish Upadhyay, the BJP state president, is holding a press conference. Some clarity on what the BJP strategy would be at this point of time would come forward at that point of time. The Aam Aadmi Party now clearly vindicated. The Supreme Court today echoed what the Aam Aadmi Party has been saying all along. The Congress also stating what the Aam Aadmi Party is saying that they are ready for elections. Whether they win or not is a separate issue. Would like to cut across at this point of time. We have Ashish Mehrishi getting us the very latest from the going-ons in the Supreme Court. We have Ashar, who's been speaking to the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party, and the general situation as it is right now, where the Delhi State Assembly carries on in suspended animation. We're going to give our viewers the latest numbers there as well and how they quite stack up and are not in favor of the BJP, where it comes down to a clear majority, even if it wins the 3 seats which go in for by-elections later on in the month of November. Ashish, you know, today the Supreme Court, maybe not in so many words, also observed that it is not shy of asking for elections, whether if it sees that there have been delay tactics being followed by the centre and the LG.
Well, Preeti, if you see, this is what the strategy looks like to be for the BJP as well. You know, what they are looking at, because they are the way they have got, you know, the winning numbers in Maharashtra as well as Haryana, they're very upbeat. Okay. So this is what they want. This is what, you know, the sources say. Yes. That, you know, what they're looking at is that, you know, despite getting the nod from the president to and the LG, you know, asking the single largest party to come and form the government, but then what they will say is, this is what, you know, the apprehension is that, you know, we are not, since we don't have the numbers, we like to go for elections. So obviously, you know, this looks like to be the ultimate, which is going, what is going to happen.
Okay, appreciate you joining us, Ashish. And today, even the centre, when it was arguing with the Supreme Court, did constantly go back and quote the Constitution, using it as an ally. I'd like to cut across to Ashar at this point of time. Ashar, you know, we're going to play out the numbers right now, right before we hit a quick break, and talk us through it. The way the numbers stack up, it's not in favor of the BJP. It's a 70-member assembly. You're still short. 67 is the current strength. 3 seats go up for by-elections in the next 10 days. Now, where the BJP is concerned, Ashar, even if it tries to stake claim, it cannot. If it resorts to other means, clearly this is not, would be the moral victory that they would want to come to power in Delhi with.
Well, absolutely. The BJP is about 2 to 3 seats short as far as the numbers stack up. On the other hand, we've seen that when the Lieutenant Governor at first invited the BJP, it declined and said that it does not have the numbers. So clearly, there is nothing much which has changed in the last couple of months or so. So what is new which the BJP will have up its sleeve is rather difficult. But yes, on the other hand, they are buoyed by their victories in the 2 states of Haryana and Maharashtra, and they feel that perhaps this time round, if elections take place, they will be able to come back in Delhi with a full majority.
Many at this point of time, and the Aam Aadmi Party is hoping that where Delhi has come, it's a different ball game from what Maharashtra and Haryana is. Well, that would only be seen, in fact, if Delhi goes in for fresh elections. Constant coverage on that story. We are covering all aspects, getting you every development. Our correspondents spread out, getting us all the reactions. We are back in exactly 2 minutes with the latest. Do stay with us.